2, 1. We're live.
This is the L2C Media Network on YouTube. And this is the Sports Final with Steve Baxley. Brought to you by the L2C Media Network and YouTube. Now, he's our own LeBron James, though his beard isn't that fluffy. With the headlines and more, here's Steve.
Well, we're about 13 minutes. We're here. How you doing, everybody? We'll get you a full report on the greatness that is LeBron in a few moments. Got to put up our promo board. Yeah, we do got a promo board. And put this here so you'll be able to hear me very clearly. Hi there. Steve the Baxman Baxley with you. Great to have you here on a sort of, well, writerish night. And by writerish, I mean it is a dark and stormy night, and we're doing a sports show. Go figure. Anyway, let's get on with it, shall we? And yes, we are going to talk about a lot of things, including the baseball and the basketball. And finally, some good news for a change. If you're an NFL fan, but that was tempered by some late-breaking bad news. Okay, all that. Let's get going with a little NFL news, shall we? The Washington fill-in-the-blanks, as we will refer to them until they get a name or the meaning in flux, much like my teleprompter. But we can get it fixed. This offseason for the Washington fill-in-the-blanks, many thought it was time for Darius Guice to overthrow Adrian Peterson on the depth chart, but both players did not make the final roster for different reasons. There was also considerable hype, but even they were not listed as number one running back in Washington's first depth chart. That spot belonged to free agent addition J.D. McKissic. Washington kept a total of 4 running backs on its 53-man roster. They added McKissic and Peyton Barber in free agency, but both, let's do it right there. Yeah. But both were expected to be competing for a final roster spot. McKissic originally entered the NFL in 2016 as an undrafted free agent out of Arkansas, spent last season with the Detroit Lions and recorded 72 total touches for 438 yards and 1 receiving touchdown. McKissic received plenty of work in training rotation, as that the order on the depth chart may not end up being important in Scott Turner's offense. Washington will likely use multiple running backs at the same time. Now, another player that impressed in camp is sure to challenge McKissic is Gibson. The first-year offensive weapon out of Memphis is versatile enough to play at either wide receiver or running back. Head coach Ron Rivera has said that he has big plans for him, although he wants to keep those a secret right now. McKissic being listed as a starting back could also hint at what Washington plans on doing in this new offense. All 4 running backs can be utilized as pass catchers, and Washington has kept just 5 wide receivers on the roster. That was nice. It was nice, them signing who they did, and we applaud. Light golf applauding. There we go. Okay. Let's get to the cheese, shall we, as we continue on. Let's go for more NFL reports. And as they say in the biz, you're never sure of a good thing until it's gone. Well, folks, Pittsburgh, well, they got a little problem. David DeCastro, a 5-time Pro Bowl right guard, is not expected to play for the Steelers when Pittsburgh opens the 2020 season against the Giants, according to the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette's last week of training camp. He also did not participate. Where are you? Thank you. DeCastro, who talked to Joe Rutter of the Pittsburgh Tribune-Review, said, quote, "We'll see what tomorrow holds as we begin our preparation week. I know he's excited about getting back out there with his teammates as soon as possible," end quote. Now, if DeCastro can't play, he will be replaced by Stefan Wisniewski, a 10-year veteran who started for 2 of the last 3 Super Bowl champions. A Pittsburgh native, the 31-year-old has 103 career regular season starts under his belt. In 2019, 2 years after being a starter on the Eagles' first championship team, Wisniewski helped the Chiefs capture their Super Bowl win in 50 years. Now, the Steelers may have 3 linemen playing new positions when Pittsburgh faces the Giants on Monday Night Football as part of the traditional Week 1 double dip. Along with the Wizen one is Zach Banner, the team's primary backup tackle. Last season, he beat out Chukwuma Okafor to be the team's new starting right tackle. Matt Filer, last year's starting right tackle, will switch over to left guard, a position that was initially vacant following Ramon Foster's offseason retirement. Now, while Pittsburgh's offensive line will look different against the Giants, the unit still includes 8-time Pro Bowl center Maurkice Pouncey and 2-time Pro Bowl left tackle Alejandro Villanueva, former first-round pick. Pouncey has been selected to the Pro Bowl in each of his 8 full seasons in Pittsburgh. Villanueva, a former receiver in Army before serving 3 tours of duty in Afghanistan as a U.S. Army Ranger, has not missed a start since taking over for Kevin Beecham. While that's going on, the Giants finished 22nd in the NFL in sacks last season. New York's defense looks vastly different from the one that finished the 2019 season. The team has a new defensive coordinator in hi there. Can we get back down there, boys? Thank you. In Patrick Graham, who won a Super Bowl as the Patriots linebacker coach in 2014. He spent the 2019 season as the Dolphins defensive coordinator, with his unit playing a huge role in Miami's Week 17 upset win over New England. The Giants are expected to mimic many of the things Patriots have done during Bill Belichick's time in Foxborough. That includes employing more nickel defense, along with considerably more rotating of their linebackers and safeties. These changes will certainly present a challenge for the Steelers, who are hoping to start the 2020 season in the National Football League that we have just discussed. Well, there had to be a thorn. That's right. We got a thorn for you. And here it is. The thorn in the NFL Glee Club of happiness. And it's from Denver. The Denver Broncos star pass rusher Von Miller's 2020 season is over before it was even started. An MRI on Tuesday confirmed that Miller has suffered a season-ending tendon injury, according to the NFL Network's Ian Rappaport. That injury is expected foot specialist Dr. Robert Anderson in Green Bay on Thursday for a second opinion. Jason La Canfora, the NFL insider for CBS Sports, relayed in the immediate aftermath of this news breaking that Miller's injury was feared to be season-ending, and now it has come truth. Specifically, the injury occurred on the last play of Tuesday's practice, per Adam Schefter again, that was being held indoors due to the blizzard hitting the area. Yes, I said a blizzard. Snow in the area, yep. The Broncos weren't even in full pads during the session, and Miller, in shells, is said to have injured himself in what is being described as a freak injury. Miller was set to enter his 10th season in the NFL and was primed to form quite the pass-rushing duo opposite of Bradley Chubb, who missed the bulk of last season due to a torn ACL. And speaking of Chubb, reports have also come out along with Miller's season-ending injury that he may not be ready for Week 1 either, as he continues to recover. So Denver is looking at the prospect of being down 2 pass rushers. Miller, meanwhile, finished 2019 with a 6th consecutive Pro Bowl nod, making it a total of 8 for his career. The Super Bowl 50 MVP also has been a perennial All-Pro talent, 3 first-time, 4 second-time. And according to latest figures from Stephen O of CBS Sports, Denver's winning percentage for 2020 season dropped 3.1% without Miller in the lineup. Now, missing the entire 2020 season will also be ill-timed for Miller, who is signed through the 2021 season. That final season of Miller's contract, however, is in the form of a club option, which gives the organization the ability to cut ties or attempt to reduce his $22.225 million cap hit if he's still recovering from this injury. The Broncos are set to open up their 2020 season on Monday Night Football at the second half of the Double Dip when they host the Tennessee Titans. And one other story from the National Football League, although it's not a party, well, unfortunately, there won't be a party. There'll still be a Monday night. But ESPN has put the kibosh on Hank Williams Jr.'s opening Monday Night Football theme. Are you ready for some football? All my rowdy friends are here on Monday night. Why? COVID-19 has silenced the song and the party. As due to the pandemic, the NFL is not allowing fans to be at the stadiums, and that means bye-bye to tailgating for this season. So ESPN thought it would be more respectful to just give the song the season off. It should be back by the next season, as hopefully will the fans. Okay, we got all that. Some NBA news. And if you are a fan of the Oklahoma City Thunder, this news was quite expected. Billy Donovan will not return to Oklahoma City Thunder next season. The team announced Tuesday night Donovan's contract as coach of the Thunder expired after the 2019-2020 season, and the two sides decided not to pursue an extension. The Thunder hired Donovan away from the University of Florida in 2015 after moving on from Scott Brooks. He led them to within one game of the transition of Paul George, but after he and Russell Westbrook were traded this offseason, the Thunder were destined for a rebuild. It did not come immediately, however, as Donovan took the team of spare parts Oklahoma City gave him and led the Thunder high. Can we get back to where we were, guys, please? On prompter, please. Thank you. Rebuild their parts. Gave him and led the Thunder into the playoffs as a surprising number 5 seed. They pushed the Rockets to 7 games in the first round despite sending Westbrook, their former MVP, to Houston during the offseason. Donovan finished in 3rd place for Coach of the Year for his efforts. But Chris Paul, the centerpiece of their incredible season, is 35 years old and on a max contract that doesn't fit into Oklahoma City's long-term plans. He'll be a valuable trade piece, and the team's likely pivot into a rebuild was a factor. There are open jobs around the NBA. The Bulls, Pacers, 76ers, and Pelicans all have openings right now, and though the Rockets have expressed a desire to retain Mike D'Antoni, should be noted that his deal expires after the season as well. He could also return to the college game where he made his name. Donovan, who resisted overtures from NBA teams for years after reneging on agreement to coach the Orlando Magic, joined the Thunder expecting to coach a contender. He did so both when it was expected and when it was not, but now he and the team appear to be moving in different directions. The Thunder now have the market. We'll just see who gets a bite. Stand by for the bites. Speaking of bites, that's right. More. Do we have more NBA news? Oh, of course. We got to do the scores from the NBA, do we not? Yes. And the biggest one, well, to call this an upset would definitely be apropos, because it was. The Milwaukee Bucks fought hard, but ultimately they were unable to extend their season without reigning NBA MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo, and they fell to the Miami Heat tonight 103-94 in Game 5. The game was a tight one all the way to the end, but the Heat ultimately pulled out a victory thanks to some solid defense and clutch free-throw shooting. Jimmy Butler led the way for the Heat in Game 5 with 17 points and rebounds, while Goran Dragic added 16 points and 4 rebounds. The Heat will now move on to the Eastern Conference Finals. somewhere they haven't been since 2014 when the team was led by some guy named LeBron James, along with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. And they'll face off against the winner of the series between the Toronto Raptors and the Boston Celtics, which we'll have a report on later. Chris Middleton paced the Bucks with 23 points and 7 rebounds, and Dante DiVincenzo added 17 points. But without their strongman Giannis, that production just wasn't enough, though. And the Bucks will now be heading home from the Disney bubble. This marks the second straight season that the Bucks had the league's best record during the regular season, but failed to make it out of the Eastern Conference as they lost in 6 games to the Raptors in the conference finals last season. Once again, your final score, the Miami Heat over the Milwaukee Bucks, 103-94. Thank you. Because, we could be seeing a resurgence, as it were. What do I mean by resurgence? Well, give me a chance, and I'll show you as we go to our NBA scoreboard, as everything is starting to fit in. That's right. Let's take you on a trip through the NBA playoff bubble with some bubble gum. That's right. It's stick-to-itiveness. Okay, as you saw earlier tonight on TNT, the Miami Heat played right to form, and they beat the Bucks and eliminated them 4-1 by beating the Bucks 103-94. Butler for Miami, 17 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. Middleton for Milwaukee, 23 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists. And in a game that ended nicely, the Los Angeles Lakers beat up on the Rockets 112-102. LeBron James, 36 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. Mr. Harden, you were in the neighborhood. 33 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists for the Houston Rockets. Both teams play on Thursday night. You'll see that game on NT. And tomorrow night on ESPN. Do we have that information? Yes, we do. Tomorrow night, here are the games scheduled for ESPN. 6:30 p.m. tomorrow Eastern Time. It'll be the defending NBA champ Toronto Raptors taking on the Boston Celtics in Game 6 of the best-of-7 series. The Raptors need to win this to send it to a Game 7, or else we will have a new champion, and the Raptors will be going fishing. Following that game at 9 o'clock, also on ESPN, it'll be the Clippers taking on the Denver Nuggets in Game 4. LA leads that series 2-1. Clippers wanting to go up another game to prepare for their big event. Meanwhile, the Nuggets got to steal this one, or else could all be done on Friday, I do believe. No, Friday. Thursday, Friday, yes, thank you. God, you gotta love this, don't you? Yeah, it has to be Friday. Because TNT is Thursday, so hence it'll be Friday. Okay, thank you. It's nice that you're respectful. Anyway. Okay, that is your NBA. No need to go to the NHL because they didn't play tonight. They did play tonight. Excuse me. They did play tonight. How do I know? We got a score. And here's the score for all to hear. Hopefully I just hit the right button on the teleprompter. I probably didn't. Okay, I didn't, but at least it's going to be there for me to say. Vegas Vegas won against Dallas 3-0. The series is tied at a game apiece. Your 3 stars, if the teleprompter behaves. Stasny for Vegas, Lehner for Vegas, and Nosek for Vegas. The center, Stasny, goaltender Lehner, and the left wing Nosek. Congratulations. They will be back again on Thursday night. Tampa Bay Lightning and the New York Islanders play Game 2 of their Eastern Conference Final on Wednesday night. Also from, I do believe, Edmonton. The Edmonton bubble. It's the bubble games. Go figure. Okay, we're at 10 minutes past the hour of midnight Eastern time. That gives me a little time to give you this tonight and it's our YouTube plug. Tonight on another episode of Lost Blaming the Interwebs, Nick Rekida's subject will be a police shooting an autistic child. Rochester police resign after the shooting of Daniel Prude, and DA Talks calls in. So join Nick and his guests for interesting talk and more. Midnight on the East, 11 p.m. in the Central Zone on Rekida Law Channel, only on YouTube. In fact, he's about 10 minutes on already. So please join Nick coming up. Immediately following this show, just go to the Rekida Law Channel and enjoy. Lost Blaming the Interwebs. Great show. Last night, it was an anniversary, sort of the mess with Funimation and Vic Mignogna. And today it's more straight off the news lines. So let's get going. Let's keep going here as we bring you more sports headlines. And college football, we have our first Baylor's. Oh, hi. You got it? Good. Baylor's 2020 season is much like our teleprompter here. Skippage. There we go. Baylor's 2020 season opener versus Louisiana Tech, originally scheduled for Saturday in Waco, Texas, or for those of you down south, Waco, has been postponed indefinitely. Why can't they just say it's simple? It's been canceled. The school's announced on Tuesday. Can we go back up? Every time I touch that, teleprompter goes whack. Okay, thank you. The school's announced on Tuesday. Hi, can we get back up there, please? Thank you. After Bulldogs had 38 players test positive after Hurricane Laura hit Louisiana late last month. That prompted many players to move out of Ruston for more than a week, which caused problems with contact tracing. Louisiana Tech Athletic Director Tommy Kellen told reporters, quote, "It is obvious that the impact of Hurricane Laura in our community a few weeks ago really sparked our significant increase in numbers. With 95% of our city losing power for days, even up to a week in many areas, our student athletes were forced to find many things that we're able to control for the month of August became out of control and out of our control. And I think the numbers prove that it took its toll. The days leading up to this outbreak, we had a stretch of 3 weeks with only one positive case. So the protocols we had in place were working prior to Hurricane Laura," end quote. The schools do not share a common bye week and will monitor dates during the season in the hopes of making up the out-of-conference matchup. Baylor's athletic director, Mack Rhodes, also spoke to the media and said the following, quote, "In the interest of the health and wellness of our student athletes, coaches, and staff, we are confident in this unfortunate but necessary course of action. To the Baylor and Louisiana Tech student athletes and communities, we share in your disappointment and look ahead to resuming play," end quote. The game is just the latest Power 5 matchup to be postponed due to the COVID-19 outbreaks. An outbreak at Tulsa caused its game against Oklahoma State, originally scheduled for this weekend, to be postponed. It'll be now played on September 19th. The battle for the Iron Skillet between TCU and SMU, which was set to be played Saturday in Fort Worth, has also been pushed to a yet-to-be-determined date later in the season. And that gives us a little reminder, football is returning to Thursday night. You got Thursday night kickoff. And that means one thing. That's right. Our friend the Rabbi has returned for season 3 of Rapping with the Rabbi. And he will have his picks live from the Vatican Football League tomorrow night here on the Sports Final. We hope you'll tune in as he will give us his Thursday night picks. And don't forget, on Saturday night, right here on the Sports Final, he will also join us for the Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, and Monday night picks. So you got to join us for that. And also, yes, it is another year. It'll be me against my mother. And this time, as we said last night, Uno, the mouse assassin, has assumed the chair once made for our beloved Misty, the Chihuahua Terrier. So Uno will be joining our little prediction family. We'll see if a cat can do better than 2 humans. Or will I finally get my second trophy? We'll just wait and see. It all starts tomorrow night with the Rabbi. Of course, it all starts tomorrow night. Football predictions. Tomorrow night, right here on the Sports Final. Okie dokers, let's, and we have a little sad news to report. And Ralph Hudson, a 69-year-old veteran motorcycle racer, passed away on Sunday due to complications to injuries he suffered in August. There we go. When he crashed his bike while driving 252 miles per hour. At the time of the crash on August 14th, Hudson was attempting to set a speed record on Bonneville Salt Flats in Utah. The Southern California Timing Association posted the following on Facebook, quote, "It is with a breaking heart I must inform our racing community that Ralph Hudson succumbed last night to the injuries he suffered at Bonneville on August 14th, end quote. The association revealed that Hudson was treated by the medical team on site of the crash in August and later transported to the Intermountain Medical Center in Salt Lake City. Further postage, quote, "We sincerely thank everyone for their kind words, prayers, and support during this very difficult time. Ralph would want everyone to stay strong and keep going fast," end quote. Hudson holds several speed records and even reached 300 miles per hour on the Bonneville Salt Flats in the past, according to Desert News. Pat McDowell, the vice president of the Southern California Timing Association, told the Desert News that Hudson was a legendary figure in racing. McDowell said of Hudson, quote, "A good man, a great competitor and innovator, one of the legends of our sport. I'm going to miss him," end quote. And we will too. We pause for the bell of 10. Okay, it is 18 minutes past the hour of midnight. We are, let's see, say ours at 12:45. Actually, 12:35, isn't it? No, 12:45. Thank you, guys. On the ball today, aren't we? Yes, we are. Okay, let's get back to more headlines. Some good things happening, or maybe not. All depends on your point of view. So let's keep good times rolling. Let's check in with our favorite looking in the meteor, and that's Awful Announcing. See what's happening on their neck of the woods. Of course, Media Bite. If you want to know all the postponements, well, we got them all. Week 2, up, Simba, up. Thank you. Week 2 of college football has a raft of postponements, cancellations, and we're going to read those to you, kids. So start writing these down or checking them off if you happen to be looking at your local newspaper. The college football schedule has changed dramatically over the past few months, with some conferences, including the Big Ten, opting not to play. There are some that are opting to still play out of conference games, some going conference only, and some opting not to play at all this fall, at least not for the moment. But even as the schedule looked a little more locked in, there have still been big changes, with the past few days seeing 4 different Week 2 games postponed or canceled. As we said, SMU and TCU, originally set for Friday, was officially postponed and likely canceled for 2020 last Friday, while Tulsa, Oklahoma, originally set for Saturday, was moved back a week, Monday. And Louisiana Tech Baylor, which was set to be Fox's featured big noon kickoff game Saturday and their season debut of that now 2-hour preview show, was officially postponed Tuesday. Yahoo's Pete Thamel broke that news, and the school later confirmed it. And why? 38 players tested positive. Prior to Hurricane Laura, they just had one positive over 3 weeks, mid 350 tests. So get those tap shoes on, Fox. You're going to need it. That's 3 games involving the Big 12 teams, TCU, Oklahoma State, and Baylor, that have gone down the past few days, with both SMU, TCU, and Baylor, Louisiana Tech, originally set for Fox Networks, FS1 and Fox, respectively, and Tulsa, Oklahoma State, set for ESPN's networks. There have also been a few further Week 2 postponed games or canceled in the past few weeks, including UCF FIU, postponed August 13th, and Marshall, East Carolina, postponed August 14th, marking the 3rd date change for that game. So the 2020 college football schedule continues to undergo significant change. And, right now, as of our broadcast here are the schools that are still going to be playing. Arkansas State at K-State, Missouri State at Oklahoma, Coastal Carolina at Kansas, ULL at Iowa State, Houston Baptist at Texas Tech, UTEP at Texas, and Eastern Kentucky at West Virginia. We do have one update. Fox's Bruce Feldman tweeted that their featured game in the noon slot will now be Arkansas State versus Kansas State. It was originally scheduled for 3:30 p.m. Eastern on FS1. Well, that's also notable in the big noon kickoff implications, as that pregame show is often focused on spotlighting the network's noon matchup. Now they'll be spotlighting a different matchup than they initially planned. Now, beyond the big noon kickoff change, this is definitely a pretty reduced schedule of games with Big 12 teams for Fox and ESPN. And it's worth keeping in mind that Missouri State and Oklahoma, one of the more notable remaining games, will be a $55 pay-per-view. What? You got it. $55 pay-per-view. What do we think of that, folk? I cannot agree more. And with the Big 12 being one of just 2 Power 5 conferences playing at the moment, the ACC is also playing this week, while the SEC plans to start late September, the 26th. And the Pac-12 and Big 10 don't plan to play this fall, although that could change in the latter case. The college football matchups will continue to be very limited this Saturday. Wow. What a difference. COVID-19, you certainly are a plague of fun. And yes, that was said sarcastically. I told you earlier on, ESPN won't be using Hank Williams Jr.'s Monday Night Football intro this year. Instead, they'll feature Little Richard's Rip It Up with new instrumentation from Virginia-based band Butcher Brown. Interesting. That's right. For a second time in the last decade, ESPN is shifting away from Hank Williams Jr.'s All My Rowdy Friends are here on Monday night as their Monday Night Football intro. But this time it's about a lack of fans in stadiums. As we said, as John R. wrote at Sports Business Journal Tuesday, though, this year we'll see a change to a new version of Little Richard's Rip It Up, with the rationale for the change being about empty or mostly empty stadiums. I guess that's nice. The Open will not show the musicians on screen. The soundtrack will be put over game-specific highlights. Little Richard, as you know, died earlier this year. ESPN worked with Little Richard's estate and his label, Concord Records, to come up with the music for the Open for this year. And it's certainly interesting to see this shift away from Williams Jr.'s song, and for the stated rationale for that change being about the limited fans in stadiums. We'll see how this new theme song is received. It's notable that some past changes here didn't go over all that well. We'll see if this change gets certainly better reception. At least we hope so. And we hope ESPN will truly bring back All My Rowdy Friends. As we said, Booger McFarland is getting ready for some college football, but get this, he's back on Monday night. That's right. ESPN announced its NFL pregame studio plans for the 2020 season. Two of the biggest takeaways are that Monday Night Countdown will be broadcast from the studio as opposed to on site, obviously because of COVID-19, and that Louis Riddick's replacement on set will be Booger McFarland. Now, brief explanation. Now, the network's press release touted the decision to move both Sunday NFL Countdown and Monday Night Countdown to ESPN's New York Seaport studios this year. The Sunday Countdown crew remains the same as a year ago. Sam Ponder hosts, joined by Teddy Bruschi, Matt Hasselbeck, Randy Moss, and Rex Ryan. But instead of airing from the campus at Bucolic, Bristol, Countdown will air from New York, much like Get Up, First Take, and various other ESPN studio shows. However, the NFL pregame shows, as well as NBA Countdown heading into the Eastern Conference Finals and NBA Finals, will air from a new rooftop location. Now, one of those other studio shows that will air from New York this season is Monday Night Countdown, which typically has aired on site and on field at the evening's host stadium. Both pregame TV reporters being barred from the field access this season as part of the NFL's COVID-19 policies. ESPN opted to keep Monday Night Countdown in studio in New York, at least this season, which also cuts down travel. The other big news about Countdown is McFarland's addition to the set in a straight swap with Riddick, who was part of the Monday Night Countdown crew in recent years. Riddick will be in the Monday Night Football booth this season with Steve Levy and Brian Griese, and former NFL Monday Night Football analyst McFarland is replacing Riddick on set alongside host Suzy Kolber and analysts Moss and Steve Young. Cool. The release notes that Young will be on site at the Monday Night Football game most weeks, while McFarland and Moss are in studio, which also makes sense given the status of Moss on Sunday Countdown, and McFarland on Saturday's college football studio coverage. Now, the common sentiment is that McFarland will be far better in a studio setting rather than game analyst role, and by giving him roles covering both college football and the NFL, ESPN has given him a soft landing after removing McFarland from Monday Night Football. So we say, congratulations be with you. Okay, we're at 12:28 right now. This is the Sports Final. I'm Steve the Baxman Baxley from the Fred McLeod Sports Desk here at the Tom O'Neill Studios in Jackson. I don't know what you're doing. And we're continuing on here, abated, unheated, and I have until 12:45.
I wanted to see if this was lit down here.
Oh boy.
I think it's gonna lit.
Folks, give me a few moments. We will be back in just a moment. We'll add this to the we'll call this a delay of broadcast here. I do have some emergency to do here, so Will you please pardon me for just a brief moment? Hopefully, I can do this without tipping the microphone.
No, I've had that on, so it would be hot and then won't come on. So you gotta see if the pilot slipped. Is there a pilot light? Yes. Oh, good. Close it up, yeah. Be very careful when you close it, too. Thank you. Thank you.
Unlike Nick Ricada, I don't have my own little place where I can open the door and leave you folks here in some good hands. Otherwise, if I were, anyway, hi there, Uno. Hey, say hello. Hello. Okay. I'll hold on to you as we continue. That was about maybe a minute. So we'll breathe deeply here. And Uno will be right here. And I have a feeling my friends over at DAZN, or our friends over at DAZN, may be needing their own Uno to cuddle with. As once again, COVID-19 is hitting the sports media industry hard, none more harder than at streaming company DAZN. DAZN, which has already furloughed many of their event staff back in March and April, also saying that they wouldn't make further rights payments until those events returned. They made further programming and executive changes this summer amidst discussion various plans to obtain more funding now that they've literally laid off a dozen of their staffers. Our friends at Awful Announcing have learned that these latest layoffs primarily involve people in production and marketing, that they've hit the U.S. particularly hard, and that they've been described as a consolidation towards DAZN's planned global service rather than the current country-specified model. The Wizard of Sports Business Journal, John Ourand, reported about more of these cuts. Quote, layoffs hit DAZN today, said to number in the dozens, or 2% of global staff. Most of the cuts came in the U.S. and Brazil. DAZN is shifting focus to its coming global service, which translates to fewer employees in New York and Sao Paulo. More tomorrow in SBD Morning Buzz. That from John Ourand. 2% of the global staff would be 52 people, going by the 2,600 number given for DAZN's global staff back in March. And that fits with what our friends at Awful Announcing have learned about the scale of the layoffs. So this is a huge cut. It's also interesting to see it affecting the U.S. business so heavily, as that's once where DAZN had planned on major expansion. With the splashy May 2018 hire of former ESPN president John Skipper and his subsequent, quote, it's time to bring DAZN to America, remarks illustrating the thinking along those lines. But while DAZN was able to gain some ground in the U.S. in combat sports, they faced challenges picking up other rights in the U.S., with so many top-tier rights already locked up long-term. And that situation has perhaps gotten worse since 2018. The U.S. NFL Sunday ticket rights, which Skipper confirmed interest in last year, never actually came up, despite speculation that they would. And the highly promoted MLB change-up deal featuring ex-Fox Sports executive Jamie Horowitz as a prominent advisor, and later DAZN head of content, may well have hung up a sign of DAZN's interest in U.S. rights beyond combat sports. But that sign was abruptly removed this year when the deal was canceled just after one season. It had been set to run for 3 years, so this fits with an apparent larger shift at DAZN, moving away from a focus on U.S. expansion and towards a global push, where they're looking to expand to more than 200 countries. Now, at the same time, though, just where DAZN is going appears rather uncertain. In August, David Hellier and Crystal C. of Bloomberg reported that the company was looking to raise up to $1 billion and speaking with advisors about, quote, options including a stock market listing or divestment of assets, end quote. That fits with a May discussion about them looking for further cash infusion, but also possibly selling the whole company. While the DAZN principal owner, Len Blavatnik, has quite a bit of money, that Bloomberg report from last month valued his net worth at $33 billion. He's certainly not committed to fund the company indefinitely, otherwise they wouldn't be looking for outside investment. And their overall approach faces even more questions now that the numerous ones that were raised before the pandemic struck. We'll see what's ahead for them, but these latest layoffs are definitely another twist to their story, and one that seems to have them moving further away, for the moment at least, from a focus on U.S. expansion. Now, Tuesday night also saw the news that DAZN's financial dispute with boxer Saul Canelo Alvarez has now escalated into a lawsuit. Dan Raphael broke the news on his Twitter page. Canelo files lawsuit in federal court in the District of Central California against DAZN USA, Golden Boy Boxing, Oscar De La Hoya, claiming breach of contract among numerous other charges. Story to come at Boxing Scene and Boxing Scene, yes. Now, that's likely not directly related to these layoffs, but it's an interesting part of the overall story of the challenges at DAZN. You think ESPN might want to buy those folks? Possibly. Could Fox Sports 1 add another network? Maybe. Would Sinclair buy them? Somebody better help them. And quick. Just opinion. And the opinions are, you know what. They're like, you know what. And we all got one. Okay, let's keep going from this little fall day hooski. In fact, we're going to be reporting on this right now. So, here we go. Oh, boy. Am I the king of segue or what? That's right. DAZN has been... Hi there. Let's keep going upwards. DAZN has been in the headlines for this week for the wrong reasons, and, well, there's even more. We told you about the layoffs, and now the streaming service is named as a party to a lawsuit filed by their biggest attraction, Canelo Alvarez. The complaint alleges, and this is from Mike Coppinger, the complaint alleges Alvarez's multi-fight deal with DAZN was breached and caused damages of at least $280 million. And the lawsuit is 24 pages. Oh, yes, this has been brewing for a while. The Alvarez's frustration with DAZN over their financial agreement back in July is well known. In short, it's a disagreement over matchmaking compounded by the effects COVID-19 has had on DAZN's ability to stage events and keep their subscriber base without having sports to broadcast. 39, but I don't want to get a copyright strike. We'll give you more on this story tomorrow. Alvarez has really escalated things. The federal lawsuit is about as escalated as it can get. And it's at a pretty tough time for DAZN. Alvarez initially signed his mega deal with them in the fall of 2018. And at the time, it felt like a huge victory. DAZN gets a bankable draw. Canelo gets guaranteed money. But 2020 has really, well, sucked. And looking at the landscape, it's hard to make an argument that Alvarez needs DAZN as much as DAZN needs him. And clearly that's what he's thinking, and he's willing to go to court over it. De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions, meanwhile, are also on the hook here, but boxers squabbling with promoters is hardly a new development. Whether after this, DAZN can stay afloat, that's the real question, laddie. Anyway, I can't turn it down. I've told you that it's only connected to the cable box. You're going to have to turn it down using your finger. But that's okay. I'll work around. Okay, let's get you over to the scoreboard. And we'll give you some scores. And here we go. I think somebody
Welcome to the most adventurous Outback ever. The all-new 2020 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you.
Get 0% APR financing for 63 months on the 2020 Subaru Outback and Mother's Love model.
A lot of folks are asking me lately how to get their dishes as clean as possible. I tell them you should try Cascade Platinum plus the power of Oxy. Cascade Platinum plus Oxy breaks down food soils. Some detergents can leave behind, washing away even the smallest food residue so it doesn't redeposit on your dishes. And Oxy is Cascade's most powerful clean, formulated without chlorine bleach for hygienic clean.
I'm going to. Okay, we're back and we're going top shelf. Good. We'll go to the top of the hour. It's not easy being me, but we try harder. Let's get a wall here. Okay, let's get you stocked and shocked with some good old soccer for you. UEFA Nations League, League A, Belgium over Iceland 5-1. Denmark and England finished in a 0-0 tie. France over Croatia 4-2. Portugal over Sweden 2-0. In UEFA Nations League C, Armenia and beat Estonia 2-0. Georgia and North Macedonia tied at 1. Azerbaijan over Cyprus 1-0. Montenegro over Luxembourg 1-0. In League D of the UEFA Nations League, it was Liechtenstein over San Marino 2-0. In baseball, in the Nippon Professional Baseball League, it went to extras, but still they couldn't end it. The Yokohama Bay Stars over the Hanshin Tigers 7-7, 7-12-0 for the Bay Stars, 7-11-0 for the Tigers. No winners, no losers on that one. The Chiba Lotte Marines beat the Nippon Ham Fighters 3-2, 3-5-1 for the Marines, 2-10-1 for the Ham Fighters. Rio for the Marines got the win and evened his record at 2-2. Uwashiwa for Nippon got the loss. He's 5-3. The Yomiuri Giants over the Chunichi Dragons 2-0, 2-6-0 for the Giants, 0-6-0 for the Dragons. Ono for the Dragons gets the loss. He's 5-4. Shugano for the Giants gets a win. He's 10-0. Talk about you're undefeated. Wow, 10-0. Good going, pal. Yay. Let's all right, 10-0. All right, the Hiroshima Carp defeated the Akut Swallows 5-1, 5-7-1 for the Carp. 151 for the Swallows. Curry for the Carp gets the win. He's 3-4. Ishikawa gets the loss. He's 0-3. The Fukuoka Silverhawks over the Rakuten Golden Eagles 2-0. 2-5-0 for the Hawks, 0-4-1 for the Eagles. Karashima for the Eagles gets the loss. He's 0-2. Senga gets the win. He's 6-3. And the Cebu Lions over the York Buffaloes 2-0. 2-5-0 for the Lions. 0-1-0 for the Buffaloes. Takahashi for the Lions gets the win. He's 5-6. Yamamoto gets the loss for the Buffaloes. He's 4-3. Let's give you one more little looky-loo. The South Korea Baseball Organization. Doosan Bears defeated the KT Wiz Swang 8-0, 8-12-1 for the Bears, 0-6-0 for the Swan. Kia Tigers over the LG Twins, 3-2, 3-7-0 for the Tigers, 2-11-1 for the Twins. NC Dinos took out the Lottie Giants and spanked them 14-2, 14-17-0 for the Dinos, 2-6-1 for the Lottie Giants. Hanwha Eagles over the Samsung Lions, 4-2, 4-10-1 for the Eagles, 2-7-0 for the Lions. And how's this for a score? You're going to love this. 31 points and 33 hits combined for this one. The Kaiwoon Heroes beat up on the SK Wyverns 16-15, 16-17-4 for the Heroes, 15-16-0 for the Wyvern. So there you go. That is scores like you've never seen them before. Yes. Ain't that a good thing? Now, if you want soccer and such, that we gave you all the scores and everything else, go to scoreboard.com/EN for English. Okay, we have just a few moments here. Let's give you a nice little hi-de-hi and ho-de-ho before we say goodbye and gotta go. Hey, that's Brian. A hello to the boss of bosses, Sharon Baxley, my cousins, my relatives, Heidi Ho, Angela Peterson, Christina Peterson, hi, of course, Yuki Tanaka, excuse me, and Jay the Brain Man, Matthew Nichols, Jerry Nichols, Nancy Nichols, Max Sivich, Ricky Pickerel, Yvonne Pickerel, Michael Pickerel, Tony Pickerel, Chad Nappy, Tyke Prado, Panda Yen, Yvonne Marie Pickerel, which I've already mentioned, but I'll mention again. Robert Oberoff, Brenda Gaminsky, Brenda Dixon, Amy Hayes, Stacy Hayes, Frida Hayes, Morris Hayes, Bobby Langford, and Jeff Rollo, Marley Wiley, George Templeton, Blind Lemon, Nellie K9, Mrs. Nellie K9, Insapod, and all my friends from the AFL chat room, the basement.com.au chat room, and every other chat room in the free world. Charlene Jeter, how you doing? Rebecca Nicole Petkis, how you doing? Adriana Fernandez, Cleo Glide, howdy hi, howdy ho. We also say hi to January J. Keaton and her daughter Dixie. She's a little child. We also say a big old hello to Melissa Coates. Melissa Coates. Coates. We also say howdy hi, and we also say hi to Mr. Magnetism, Mike Sparks. Also, Monica Cram, Gary Cram, Casey Ann, Samantha O'Neill, Sammy Phillips, Sarah Chavez, Jacqueline Fleming. We say hi to Amanda Behrens, Joseph Schwartz, and the mighty Randy West. We also say a big old hi to Alabama Cole. That's right. And that lovely enchantress of the weekend news on Pix 11, Kitey Tong. How you doing? Okay, Twitter. We gotta say hi to my friends on the Tweezy Twitter, so we do so, and we say big old hi, my peeps. Dorothy Malone, Courtney Lynn Elwood, how you doing? We say big old hello to Lena Gwynn. And by the way, happy Star Trek Day. Casey Lennox, Andrea Isom, Marielle Lou, Emily Walls, Ronnie Dahl, Ivy McKellen, Charles London, Nick Mantis, Audrey Dahlgren, Alex Sims, Rebecca, Mandy Summers, Wyatt Holiday, Peter Gilmore, the best, one of the best artists in all of comicdom. We also say hi to The Real Deal, Linda Steele, Brad Shepard, Delancey Lugnuts, Nick Mantis, Lisa Guerrero, Sean Broyles, Kellyanne Collins. And if that's not enough, we say hello to Peter Oida, Louisa Fernanda, Mia St. John, Mindy Stearns, and of course, Stays again. And on on Instagram, everyone else. On Instagram, love Dorothy Malone. They are a great female singing group, and they're good. They're good at what they do. So there you go. And that, my friends, is all she wrote for us. And yes, the quarantine hair is still growing. One of these days it will get sheared, along with the rest of me. But I did shear a bit of the beard. In fact, I just reshaped it a bit. Hope everybody likes it. That's it for us. The walls are coming soon, so we don't have to worry about background noise. I thank you all very much for tuning in, and we will see you again tomorrow night. I think it'll be right after. I'm trying to think. We got. I think we'll be right on time. I'll have to check, and as they say, watch this space. But for right now, that's it. Thank you for tuning in, and enjoy the rest of your evening on the West Coast, and enjoy a great Wednesday. Don't forget, Wednesday night, 8 o'clock on TNT, it's All Elite Wrestling. They will update you on the condition of Matt Hardy, and we have a wedding. Yes, there's going to be a wedding on AEW. Whether it goes happily or not, oh boy. So join us for an All Elite wedding on All Elite Wrestling tomorrow night, 8 Eastern, only on TNT. And that is it for the promotions. This has been a Mystifying Creativity presentation in association with the L2C Media Network and L2C Sports. And for everyone here at L2C Sports, I'm Steve the Baxman Baxley. We'll see you tomorrow night, everybody. Thank you. Good night. And I think that went smoothly. It must have. I'm still here for now. See you. We'll see you tomorrow night, hopefully.